Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another BJ & Co. Terraria video. Today we are starting our Wednesday wiring. That means we're going to take you through a few different wiring things every Wednesday on how to improve yourself as a Terraria player. So today, you'll know we've been doing the fishing playthrough on the main channel. So with that, we thought a great one to start with is a bait farm, because we will likely be implementing this on our fishing world right away, just to help us get more bait. Now, right off the bat, before we get into it with bait, there are all sorts of different kinds of baits, from worms to grasshoppers to butterflies, lightning bugs, the jungle things, grubby, buggy, sluggy. So all sorts of different bait. All of them have different bait powers. There's also stuff you get from the angler that's master bait, journeyman bait, or apprentice bait. So in order to farm bait, there's a million different ways. Most of the bait can be got out of breaking things. So, you know, right here we've got a rock, we break it. Oh, there's 2 worms out of there. If we've got a bug net, we can catch them. You know, there's also a chance of breaking, when you break this stuff, that it goes away. Oh, it's got the strange plant while we're here. But it's the rocks and stuff are the biggest hit that you get for it, the best bang for your buck. So in order to make a bait farm, we're going to be breaking those sorts of things. And by doing this, we're going to make some platforms where the stuff can grow, as well as making a way for it to break with wiring. So what we're focusing on here is we want to go with the jungle stuff first, the sluggy, buggy, grubby, because they have the highest bait power typically compared to worms and grasshoppers. Worms, I believe, are what, 25%? Where did my worms hide? Am I blind, guys? No, right up there. Huh. So 25%. Grasshoppers are 10. I think the sluggies and buggies can go all the way up to 40. So we're going to focus on jungle plant. But an interesting thing is there's a max cap on how many critters can be on screen. So for the combined jungle, there can only be 8 of them on screen at a time. And for the worms, 5 on screen at a time, and grasshoppers is 5 on screen at a time. So in order to make the most efficient farm, what we're going to do is kind of do a mix of worms, grasshoppers, and the jungle guys. So first thing we want to do is clear out a nice little area. Doesn't have to be too huge based on our limits, and you can always kind of set it up in an area like I have here, where I can expand to the right or to the bottom as I feel fit. So then the first thing you want to do, we're going to start with some jungle up at the top. So in order for jungle to work, what we're going to be doing is first you need mud blocks, because we need somewhere to plant these jungle seeds. And actually, this is not going to work well here. You'll notice how stuff's growing down from the roof. That's going to impede our jungle plants. So what I'm going to do actually is build this one down. And the reason I'm doing it this high is just so I can fit through it to make adjustments. You can also cut it down so there's only 2 gaps between everything. And that kind of makes it so that you're getting the most efficient use of space. But I do want just to be able to make quick fixes or anything if it happens, because I find sometimes the actuators that we're going to be using bugger up on me. So yeah, we're just going to block off the roof so nothing will grow down. And then because this is mud, if we plant jungle grass on here, vines will start growing beneath. So I'm going to plant some dirt beneath it. This can be any block you want along here. Can be stone, cobblestone, meteorite, whatever you feel like it, just to stop things from growing down. So that's one jungle one we've got. And now we'll do another jungle layer here. And what I'm thinking we'll do probably 3 jungle, 3 jungle, and then 2 just generic ones beneath it. So we're just laying the infrastructure to start, guys. Ah, my aim is horrible. I love how I just have things circling me in this. It's so entertaining. Okay. And so that's the area we're going to plant jungle grass on. Neat little thing is you can use this sort of farm to do to grab some glowing mushrooms, or to farm for mushrooms or any other basic plant life. You can use this sort of setup to make it happen as well. So here we go. We've got, whoa, that was ugly again. That was ugly. Okay. So there we go. And we'll just leave the bottom open. We could extend it to make it even, but that's we'll need a collection area anyways. So this is the basic bit. I'm just going to hang around for days so we have some better lighting for you guys. See you in a few. Alright guys, we are back and it is finally light out to make this recording a little bit nicer on you guys. So what I did before I went to kind of delay time is I did plant some seeds. So on the dirt I planted grass seeds. On the jungle or the mud blocks I planted some jungle grass seeds. I've got these just through the process of kind of mining in the world in the different areas. You start to collect them, but you can also purchase some from the Dryad as well once you have that in your world. So this is the base set. We've got things going, stuff starting to grow, and we could from here just start cutting it, and oh, 2 grubbies, we could grab them with our wonderful bug net. But this is the weekly wire. We need to do some wiring. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using some actuators and some wire itself to break the blocks with one switch so that we don't have to go and mine everything. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get some actuators. These are these little yellow things that you can buy from the mechanic. You can get the mechanic once you have purchased or beat Skeletron. You can find her down in the dungeon somewhere. So you just want to go on every block you've placed and actuator it up. Oop. Except you don't need... I always suggest bringing a wire cutter just in case you make a mistake. You can come and cut the actuators with the wire cutter. Because as you can see, if you're as good at placing stuff as I am, you'll make a few mistakes. So we're just going to actuate everything up here. Okay, so once you have it all actuated up, you want to pick where you want your lever to be. This can be a switch, it can be a lever, it can be a pressure plate, whatever your preference is. I like the levers just because they're big and obvious. And then we want to wire this all together. So I'm just going to start this way and go all the way up. And all right, so now that we have all the actuators placed, we can see when we throw the wire cutter up, all the actuators are placed, they're all wired down to this switch, so we should be able to just flip the switch, and what this will do is push all of this stuff to the background, and then all of the grass that you see growing above the tiles will break off and has a chance of spawning the bait in it for us. So these bigger ones have a higher chance than just the plain grass. But let's give it a flick and see what we got. Oh, so we got one thing dropped in this. You can just run through. So we got a sluggy from that one. So there you can see it. And then when you want to start growing, you just flip it back and keep going. Now I am noticing a little bit of a problem here. We have a vine growing down from the grass. I wasn't even thinking about that and I screwed up there. So what I'll likely do in the future is put some stone blocks underneath each of those and along the top where I put the dirt. That was just poor planning on my part because the grass, you'll notice, does grow up onto all the dirt. And when it's on the top, it will grow stuff down. So don't use dirt, use stone blocks. I'm a noob like that. But if we come on over here, I'll kind of show you a fully operational, well, partially operational one that I've done with all the stone blocks that we were talking about. Here you can see also that I did it at the 2 height, which is to maximize the space. So I put the mud on. When you do it this way, you have to do it row by row, put the mud on, then do the actuators through here. Otherwise, you won't be able to get to the far end to put the actuators on. And you can see we've got all this wonderful stuff. And if we flick the switch, and with this, sometimes takes a couple times to break them all. But you can see we've got a whole bunch of stuff hiding here for us. And what do we have in this one? 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I missed him. 6. And 7's going to fall off the edge. Oh, 7. So we got 7 from that. And like I mentioned before, that's kind of the highest. Well, 8 is the highest that you can get from the jungle ones at once. So a nice, you see here 3 rows work perfectly fine. But that is how to make a bait farm, guys, with the wiring. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Wednesday wiring. If there is a topic that you would like to see covered next week, throw it down in the comments below. I would love to hear what sorts of things you guys are looking for. I've got some ideas to do some farms for different types of enemies. I've got, you know, all sorts of things. Some AFK farms. So if there's something in particular you want to see, throw it in the comments below. If you like this, don't forget to smash that like button. If you want to see more of our content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We always appreciate it. And if you're on different social medias, see if you can find us around. We've got all sorts of different profiles: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, all that fun stuff. We'd love to see you in the area you like to hang out. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you all next time. Out of breaking things. So, you know, right here we've got a rock, we break it. Oh, there's 2 worms out of there. If we've got a bug net, we can catch them. You know, there's also a chance of breaking, when you break this stuff, that it goes away. Oh, it's got the strange plant while we're here. But it's the rocks and stuff are the biggest channel. So with that, we thought a great one to start with is a bait farm, because we will likely be implementing this on our fishing world right away, just to help us get more bait. Now, right off the bat, before we get into it with bait, there are all sorts of different kinds of baits, from worms to grasshoppers to butterflies, lightning bugs, the jungle things, grubby, buggy, sluggy. So all sorts of different bait. All of them have different bait powers. There's also stuff you get from the angler that's master bait, journeyman bait, or apprentice bait. So in order to farm bait, there's a million different ways. Most of the bait can be got hit that you get for it. The best bang for your buck. So in order to make a bait farm, we're going to be breaking those sorts of things. And by doing this, we're going to make some platforms where the stuff can grow, as well as making a way for it to break with wiring. So what we're focusing on here is... Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another BJ & Co. Terraria video. Today we are starting our Wednesday wiring. That means we're going to take you through a few different wiring things every Wednesday on how to improve yourself as a Terraria player. So today, you'll know we've been doing the fishing playthrough on the main